Welcome to part 2 of Doon The Tunnel with John Hughes, where we'll be talking about the winding down of his playing career and moving on into coaching and management. If you haven't checked out part 1, please do so. I will link it in the description below, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much for watching. A special thanks to Finnegans Wake for welcoming us into their space to bring you this episode. Finnegans Wake take pride in place in Edinburgh's famous Victoria Street, with live music 7 nights a week from a huge range of bands, including extra early live acts on Friday and Saturday, making for an amazing atmosphere. Finnegans is a hub for live sport, especially GAA Irish Football, Hurling, as well as showing all major sporting events across its many screens and central big screen. And what's better than local? Finnegans Wake have a wide variety of locally brewed craft beers, including the newly installed Caffrey's Irish Ale. Finnegans is a place for everyone, with amazing staff and entertainment to help you have the best night possible. And don't forget to send in your good time photos from the photo booth. Once again, thank you so much to Finnegans Wake. You're at Hibs and you acknowledged as if thanks very much at the same kind of...
Aye, I went to Hibs. I went with Jockey Scott, who was absolutely a great coach, and went in there. It wasn't a Hibs as it is sort of now. It was there. It was a wee bit, Old Easter Road. Douglas Crome was the chairman. Celtic signed me for the Tribunal was 380. Hibs bought me for 250. Jockey Scott, a great coach. Ray Wilkins was there. Ray Wilkins, right, yep, Darren Jackson, all that. We weren't a bad team, but it wasn't the team it was now. We were struggling. And Jockey lost his job. Jim Duffy come in with Jackie McNamara Senior.
Yep.
Great lad, Jim. A real players manager, right in amongst the players. Mm-hmm. And then budgets dictate. Everybody forgets that budget dictates who you can bring in and what you can bring in. If you look at Jim Duffy's time to Alec McLeish's time, you're talking about Sozas and Latapis, and so Jim, and it was hard. We got relegated, and that was probably my hardest time in football, when Hibs got relegated.
Is that because it was so close to home?
Aye, definitely. And then about life, and then about the supporters, and being one of them, and born, bred, brought up only a stone throw for Easter Road, brought on up, gone up there, and then amongst them, it was very, very difficult. But through time and all the stuff that we've talked about, and there's fuel, disappointment and setbacks and knockbacks. That's part of your character. That fuel. You have to use it to say, is that right? I'll show you. And then the character comes out, that person that you really are, because someone's doubted you or doesn't fancy you or doesn't like you. You go, here, take a bit of that. And that's what I've done all my days. All my days, that's been part of it. All my days.
What was it like? We've spoke about the Old Firm derby. What is it like being involved in an Edinburgh derby?
It means the same. It means the same to the supporters, but it's the Glasgow derby's twice the size. But it means the same, and it was great. I loved it. And then, as I say, it was Jim lost his job. We got relegated. Big Alec come in, and then you could see it. You could see it as the same as Falkirk. You could see it, And I'm sort of at that age where you're looking. You could see the players that it was bringing to the
just
club.
A gear shift.
Right. You could see, but I think that Big Alec done a number on Rod Petrie in terms of Rod was a wee bit, at that time was a wee bit wet behind the ears in terms of how football runs. He was an accountant, never really know football. And Alec done him, and the two of them worked off each other. And all for the benefit of Hibs. I think Rod says, right, we go, right, we'll start spending a wee bit more money on wages and better players. And then that's all Big Alec needed. So you're talking about Frank Souza, you're talking about Russell Latapu, Dirk Lehman, Mixu Patalainen. So when we got back up, we were ready for it. So when we were going into a derby, I'll tell you, the Millennium Derby we played at Tynecastle, we beat them in the tunnel. Trust me, we beat them in the tunnel. Jim Jeffries was in at the time, and he had signed a lot of French players. And we were in the tunnel. I was a captain at the front, usual, come on, no getting beat. Right at the back of me was Sean Dennis. Big Sean Dennis was a minor for Fife. He's the one guy I wouldn't go toe to toe with on a square go.
Right.
Come on, I mean, he's used to big veggie was a. Come on, I loved him to bits. My best mate, a great mate, you know, and but you knew he had your back, that kind of guy, and I had his back. That was my proper man. Frank Sosie, Dirk Lehman, Mixu Pat Lyman, Stuart Lovell, Kenny Miller on the bench, Latapi. You're saying we're not getting beat here. You know what I mean? Nick Cole and goals, you're saying. So you're coming down the tunnel, all the French boys, you could see all the French boys looking at Frank. He's got the stare on, looking at Frank, going, "Hi Frank, how you doing?" They're looking for that. What's the word I'm looking at?
Acknowledgement.
Acknowledgement. Aye, to go. Frank's got the stare on. I'm up the front, turn around, come on, Ken, what is she doing? All that. And you say, we've got them beat, battered them 3-0. Wee Kenny come on, just a young kid come on as a sub, scored the third one, and whole Tynecastle emptied. It was just all Hibs. That was a great.
Everybody talks about home advantage, but do you get more hyped up in away tunnel?
Well, Tynecastle, I love Tynecastle. It was all part and parcel of the game. I know it's bravado and all that stuff. Listen, I was cool, calm, collected, bravado, but it took many a second prize, don't worry about that, and got, you know, and backfire, never won everything, you know, the disappointments and defeats, but it's part and parcel of it, because you see how they come back for that, injuries, how they come back, getting beat. But there's days that you remember that are pivotal and you go, nah, that was special. And that Millennium Derby, I think when I look back at the Edinburgh derbies, I think we were about 50-50. But there was a long time Hearts dominated it. Yeah. And I'm sort of, when I went and saying, right, we've got to put a stop to that. And it happened before I went there. But good guys, Gordon Hunter and all, I played when I first went, Jeepsy and Willie Muller and all, real fucking Hibs boys. It stood up, you went, I'm getting this. And, you know, 4 years, I just wish I was there a lot longer. And, but I really enjoyed it. As I say, every manager that I worked under, I feel, when I went into coaching, when now that you look back, you sort of see you could have done a little bit better, done this, done that, helped him out a little bit more, possibly could. But it was great, and it really saddened me to leave Hibs. But it was just, football evolves, you're getting on. I think I was 34, 35.
You would have been about maybe 36. I've got 36 here for Ayr United. So, if even a wee touch on Ayr United, how was your time?
Well, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Gordon Dale, good lad, Daza. Really enjoyed it. You know, Frank Connor was doing there as this number 2, and Frank was a wee bit old school. I wanted to play football, and we sort of initially got off to a great start, but eventually once I got settled in, I got well looked after. Really well looked after, in terms of don't have to come down, make sure you take a Monday off, or if you're coming down Monday, come down Sunday, stay over, we'll put you up, all that stuff. Train Monday, stay Monday night, train Tuesday, so you're travelling and well looked after.
There was a few Hibs boys that went with you. Pat McGinley had went.
Pat McGinley was doing
Paul Lovering and Michael Renwick.
Aye, that was right. So that made it easy. But then, you know, and we got success. I think we got to the League Cup final. Rangers beat us in the League Cup final, and we got to the semi-final of the Scottish Cup.
That's right. Yep.
And playing against Celtics.
Lost 3-0 to Celtic and 4-0 to Rangers.
And I've not been one for swapping jerseys or all that, but Scott Crabb used to play for Hearts. See if you can get Larson's jersey. I'm no one for 10 minutes to go. I says to him, I say, any chance of getting your jersey? I never thought any more of it. And then went in the dressing room after and bang on the door. Henrik, come in. There you go, the jersey. Unfortunately, I should have been wiser and sort of said, that's for me. Gave it to Crabble for his laddie because he asked for it.
Well, you're an honest man.
Well, that's it. I've never been one for, I've not got many of them. I think I've got one or two in the house. I've got Gascoigne's, when he played for Middlesbrough. We come up to Hibs, played them at pre-season, I asked them for it, and I've got one PSG. I've swapped jerseys, PSG. I don't know who it was. I've got that, and I've got my Celtic strip. I buried my old man in my Celtic strip. He got buried in the Celtic strip. Number 5, iconic. When you see Billy McNeil lifting the European Cup, number 5. You're saying, no many players in life get to do that. Number 5, number 5. That's my number. Everything that I do is 5. Number 5. So my old man got buried in that. And everywhere I've been, it stuck with me 5 at Hibs. So brilliant, but really sort of disappointed to move on and leave Hibs, go down to Ayr United, and then just about finished. You know that you're hanging in there.
Yeah, so the next step would be going back to Falkirk. Was that as a player-coach capacity?
Player-coach under Ian McCall.
Yeah.
He was doing well in the management game. He got into it earlier, went into Airdrie with Owen Coyle and Brian Rice, got into it, done success, got the Falkirk job, had great success, brought me back as a player-coach. Never done much coaching. Owen was up front, scored all the goals. My job was to keep the back door shut. Had a right good team, really enjoyed it. Back at Brockville. Then Ian got tapped up to go to Dundee United.
That's right.
And went.
Mm-hmm.
So they sort of says, well, business as usual, can you and Owen keep playing and take it? He says, aye, but we need someone to look after the bench. So we brought Chipper in. Well, Owen knew Chipper, Brian Rice from Airdrie. I knew Chipper from playing with him at Falkirk. So he come in. It was just, we just played. It wasn't hard. I think we went through. Team never changed much. Won the league.
I'm always curious. I had Gary Miller on, who played at Falkirk a bit later than you, but he was under co-managers as well, and I was curious to find out how is the dynamic of a co-manager. Did
easy.
You find it
was easy because we were winning every week. We were always got to win it. We keep saying to Collie, he went and says, we parked the bus, we reversed it, and he says, I'll win that. Like, no, we won it. We reversed it. He went up. But it was easy because I played, and I think, well, about 14 players, and Chipper would make the subs, and everybody was fit every week because we were winning and all that stuff. And we got it. So at the end of the season, Owen went up to Dundee United.
So you'd be in
well, it wasn't I, so I had to fight to get it, and 1 or 2 that board didn't fancy me. And I had to sort of try and fight to get it. I don't know who else was in it, but I had a right good ally in the boy George Craig, and eventually I got the job, and that was it. But don't forget, when I got the job, we were coming out of Brockville, so we never had a stadium.
Yeah.
We had won the league, we were meant to go up in the Premier League. In the Premier League, we couldn't get a stadium to.
I think you were sharing at Stenhouse Muir.
I think it was Motherwell, or was it Motherwell that stayed up?
That's right.
I think it was Motherwell that stayed up. So we decided to stay in the community for the fans and play at Stenhouse Muir. So that was me, and a player manager. No got a stadium, playing at Stenhouse Muir. No got any offices because the offices were in Brockville. Brockville's now demolished. They started building the new Falkirk Stadium. So it's jumpers for goalposts. Hello, what do you do? The money we were getting to go up into the Premier League, I've played with these guys. It's nobody realises you've not got the budget. You're saying, well, we're still in the first division. So you've played with these guys for a couple of years. You're saying, I can't give you a contract. It's the hardest thing in football.
Yeah.
And I can't give you a contract. You're still trying to build a team in the first division to hopefully win it to get back up. And then you're in porter cabins in a workers' yard, big work yard, down at the bottom of Falkirk, where that was your sort of base and office, right, and where we're training and all that. But what a grounding it was. What an absolute great grounding. I think we finished 3rd or 4th that year in the first division.
I think you finished 4th in between, and then you won it the following
year.
Then
the next year is right, let's get going. But we were moving into the new stadium the next year.
Yeah. So you kind of took the hit to take the
right. So we were moving into the new stadium, and then that's when I said, right, Latapi had come on, and I went to meet him. And he says, I'll come and play. He says, I'll see what. As I know, he says was, just make sure I'm the highest paid player. He says, if you sign any players that goes on, make sure I'm. And that was it. It wasn't, kind of what I mean, just wanted to play football, Russell. And he was a catalyst for everything he'd done at Falkirk. He got himself fit. He ended up playing 5 or 6 years. Couldn't get him. He was absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding for what he'd done. I don't think he realised, because he was playing the part he played, although he was a genius on the pitch, but the young ones training with him, seeing how it's done, seeing the way he trained, his technique, his ability, competing against him, no getting near him as the months go on, no standing in awe of him, getting in about him, nutmegging him, getting back, getting tackled. I'm talking about guys like Arfield and Scobies, because the reasons I say that is that year we went up, we basically had won it by Christmas. And I was building a team, and we basically won it by Christmas, but still the main stand, it was still not meeting the criteria to get into the SPL, and one of the guys, a boy called Sandy Alexander, a great Falkirk supporter, has got a few quid. He says, I'll build the stand at the back of the goals. So that was up. So we met the criteria, went up into the Premier League and kept him there for 5 years.
Yep. There was loan deals that I was wanting to ask you about. One, Kasper Schmeichel, who went on to win 100 caps for Denmark. Bringing in a player like that, could you see the qualities back then in that goalkeeper?
Well, if you look back and if you go back, you've probably heard me saying Jim Jeffries and Billy Brown every Tuesday after training. They would jump in a car and go down south to watch games. And I'll tell you about the players that they would bring to the club. You know, that stuck with me and Chipper, because by that time it was me and Chipper. I always get the short straw with Ricey here. So it was me and now we had a great partnership, and everything, all the success that we had, I say Russell was the catalyst. Brian Rice had a massive part to play in it, you know. It was good for us, a good foil for each other. And we would jump in the car and we would be away. So, you know, you're talking about away doing south watching. We were doing at Manchester United, so much so we were in the Manchester United reserve dressing room, Ricky Sparese, Brian McClare in there, because we were doing that much, watching games. Ferguson knew he wanted to know who he was doing. We made sure we would put in for tickets. So if we were ever going in for a player, he'd say, get him to Falkirk. Why? Because they do their work. We're not just phoning up on doing at Manchester City, Manchester, Newcastle, away doing, if Arsenal were up, it's close, away doing it. If we were away doing it, Birmingham at the time, away doing, maybe spending Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, coming. Because football, it's non-stop.
And that kind of explains who I was going to ask about next.
So we've seen it from Jim Jeffries. So we felt when we went to coach and management, that's what you had to do. So we were doing there all the time, and sometimes we're on the budget. All my time in football, I've never worked out a budget. In fact, I've given some back. One of the seasons I gave it back because I couldn't spend it. And I've spent 4 players, I've paid 250 grand on 4 players. Alan Gill, 50 grand tribunal from Airdrie. John Stewart, I think it was 40 grand from Aberdeen. Dean Holden, 25 grand from Peterborough. And Stokesy, 135 grand when I was at Hibs. So they say that was the fee to bring him back to face Sunderland. That's what I do. I go and I get the best of what I've got. I get the young kids coming through and say, there you go. And then I go beg Boris Steele, duck and dive. So when you're talking about recruitment, Kasper Schmeichel, we were doing it at Manchester City, doing there, watching that. Mike Richard was the one that caught my head, caught my eye. But I said, that guy doesn't miss a header. Resonates, doesn't miss a header. Seen Man City guys sitting there, went over. I says, what about the goalkeeper? We run the budget when we were at. George Craig says, you run the budget, didn't spend over. So we've gone down there saying, we've got 800 quid in our pocket, right? See what we can get. So, seen the two, didn't know it was Joe, asking about Kasper Schmeichel, didn't know it was Joe Hart at the time. But I'm talking about and eventually, he was on loan at the time. What was the English club he was on? Shrewsbury, I think he was on loan at. And I said, your goalkeeper now, so it was just Kasper Schmeichel. So 10 minutes, everybody leaves, all the scouts leave, seen enough, they all keep their nuts to themselves, seen enough. Chipper, like, come on, we need to get up the road. Stuart Pearce is the manager. Chippers and Stuart Pearce played at Notts Forest. No, Chipper, get in and see Pearce. Chipper pushed him in. Oh, how are you doing, Brian? Listen, we're doing we fancy the goalkeeper. No, not a problem. See, we've no money. All we've got is 800 quid. Money's not an issue. He needs to go and play football. I'll put it to him and I'll let you know in the morning. He was up that day, next to game day. Kasper was up, boom, in the flat, up on the training pitch, ready to go. Bring it on, give me everything you've got. And everything is where you see, you know, all this stuff, and goalkeeper and saving penalties and hitting free kicks and couldn't get him off his training pitch and covered in mud and come on, take free kicks, and he would go and it was unbelievable, so again, absolutely unbelievable.
Work ethic on that.
Work ethic, non-stop work ethic. And then what we'll tell you is, I don't know how people do your due diligence, and then you're into Kasper and you're saying, anything else, dude? Anything? I linked a big centre half, big Micah Richards and all that. And Kasper would say and all that, and you're saying, will we know, and all that stuff. And it's the exact same with Arsenal. Then Stokesy, you're saying Stokesy come late, but the first one was a boy called Patrick Craig, an Irish boy. we went down, we got right down, as far down to seeing Arsenal play Leicester. So we were there, so we come back, and we got into Craig, and he come up, we got him up, and the next day he minute, and we signed him on loan. So we're into Craig, brilliant, just a wee midfielder, a wee baller, you know, gives it, take it, you know, gives it here. So you're into him saying, what else is doing there? He says, what did you see? I says, I like the boy, a substitute that come on, a boy called O'Donnell. That's my best mate. Me and him are roommates, me and him are flatmates. That's my best. He would come. I says, lefty. I says, he says, oh, brilliant. He can play, so he's giving you the information. The players tell you where players is. Trust me, Gaffer, trust me. Not just because, mate, he's better than what we've got. So you're back on. We've already knocked it off with an Irish guy and Patrick Craig. Liam Brady's running the academy. O'Donnell's mates up here, I'll be up. So O'Donnell comes up, he's the next one. The next one after that, it's a boy called Graham Barrett, who is the best out of them all. But when he come up to him, he was nursing a knee problem. And what it was, his knee he knocked his kneecap out, and it never really put it back in on the rails. Right. So it was always giving him a problem, so he never got to the height. But so to get him, he was the next one. Then we got Mark Howard, then we got Stephen Bradley, who's the manager of Shamrock Rovers. So and all Irish. And the reason being is we played Celtic in the League Cup and they beat us 8-0. Right. Martin O'Neill's team. And the next year we played Celtic in the League Cup. I think it was Gordon that took over from Martin.
It was Gordon.
And we beat them on penalties.
Yep. Quarter final.
Liam Brady was at the game.
Right.
And he come looking for me after the game. All these, we've known them all, but Craig and O'Donnell and all. What a tag team that was. You're talking about Thompson and Brune for Hibs at the time. They like that game, bring them on. Yep. We want a bit of that. You're like, calm down. Then Liam Craig, the other guy, you know Liam, it's now at Queen's Park. Yep. We signed Liam for Ipswich. Liam's was in that. He's wanting a bit of it, and you're saying, and you sort of saying you need to recognise what you had. But he come looking for me. He says, give me a call. He says, I've got one or two other for you. And that's when we got Stokesy come up.
Right. Because obviously he was one that I wanted to ask about, considering the career on the pitch that he would go on to have, how you kind of got first dibs on him, because I think he only made one.
Do you know what's the boys that are telling me? How the genius of him. The genius of him and all that stuff, and he's a genius, a good lad. Just got him up. And all he wanted to do at that age, all he wanted to do was play football. Just wanted to play football. And you could just tell instantly, wow, this guy's a real goal scorer, left foot, right foot, any shooting exercise. He was outstanding. But if you go back before that, if you look at my Falkirk when I went in coaching, I always say, you all go to the seminars and listening to managers, and I always heard Sir Alex Ferguson say, always have strikers. In your team, strikers on your bench, match winners, strikers, and it's something that stuck with me. And if you look at my Falkirk days, I started off with Darryl Duffy. We got him for Rangers, and his partner was Andy Thompson. It was signed from Partick Thistle. Andy Thompson was the best striker out of them all. Finisher, out with probably up there with Stokesy, out with Owen Coyle. Coyle was the best finisher, Coyle. Andy Thompson was in that mould. Right. So when I went in and I got they two when we went in the Premier League, I got they two and Latapi's at the back of them. We played a diamond and we went down to the North East and we played 10 minutes. I looked at Ricey looked at me and went, they two were like the red arrows. It's gone to Latapi, he's turning, he's playing no look passes and going like that. So we're on to something. And they two were just right, we just need to nurture that. After that, all my strikers went. Then I went Gilzer, Stokesy, Michael Higdon, Carol Finnegans, Pedro Martino, sort of bounced about in amongst them all. Yeah. Carol Finnegans went in there, Stuart Lovell come in. Aye, that was it. Who played in the Scottish Cup final? It was Lovell, aye. It was Lovell, and Higdon was on the bench. And then all the young ones coming through. And that's probably someone sort of say, what's your biggest achievement? Everybody say, one of my biggest achievement was because we started the academy at Falkirk and we put a lot of work in it. And my last game was the Scottish Cup final against Rangers. We passed them off the pitch. Yeah. Everybody say, we won. I take it, brilliant. We passed them off the pitch. We gave them a football lesson that day. Trust me.
For that season, you brought in a few experienced players. Jackie McNamara came in, Stephen Presley, Lee Bullen, and Neil McCann.
We changed it. It was just a different dynamic. We went. Russell had finished, but they were nursing the young ones because what I was going to say, that final, Darren Barr come through the academy. He was my captain. Scott Arfield played. He come through the academy. Tam Scobie played. He come through the academy. On the bench was Chrissy Mitchell, Jamie Barclay, and Mark Stewart. All these kids were Scotland under 21s. They were all Scotland under 21s. That was the job that we were doing at Falkirk at the time. It was unprecedented, and we kept them in the Premier League. We got to 2 League Cup semi-finals, Scottish Cup final, and took them into Europe for the first time in their history. Fantastic. And when we left, it went like that because we set such a high standard. Trust me, we set such a high standard. The way we trained, the way we went. But we got lucky. And our recruitment, well, did we get lucky? Because our recruitment was brilliant. As you say, the players you mentioned, and Jackie and Neil McCann and all that stuff, it was brilliant. Then after that, my only disappointment with Hibs, and I'll go on record with Falkirk, is we'd done, as a player and a coach and a manager, I gave them something like about 11 years. Yeah. And when I was leaving for Hibs, we hit financial trouble. It was mismanagement. They hit no through us. It was through the board. We'll blame it on the credit crunch and all that. And it was mismanagement. And the funds weren't there, the folk were there and all that. And it was invoices and all that stuff. So what happens? It all starts affecting the football side. Right. Well, I need to stick together. Right. Okay. Right. So my masseur goes, my sports scientist goes, my video analysis goes, so all that stuff. So right, so it's time to move. Me and Chipper were on a good deal. So Hibs were sniffing about. So he says, we went in and he says, listen, we've got a chance to go to Hibs. Oh, brilliant, because we could do with getting you off the wage ball and all that. We need to take it a different direction. Fine, you can go for nothing, right? Fine. As soon as we walked out the door and went to meet Rod Petrie, he makes contact with Falkirk. Falkirk say, no, we're wanting a fee for him. We're wanting a fee for him. So I'm saying to Rod, well, they never says that, so that's really disappointment for the service and what we've gave him, even Chipper. So then they're bouncing back and forward, and then the phone call come, tell them to give up their bonus money. Well, your bonus money is Scottish Cup final, European bonus, getting into Europe, and staying in the Premier League. And that just left a real sour taste. Now, see if they say, tell them to give their bonus money, I'll give it to charity and that we can go through and it's not coming. That's a different matter, but I'm saying that what we have done, and we have gave it everything we've got and everything we've just talked about, everything we've got for them to have the audacity to ask us to give up our hard-earned money. And don't forget, the day of the Scottish Cup final, I'm in the day before haggling for the players, saying the players, they want better money, user making them try and get the players a better deal. And for them to say that, I just went, that's, even to this day, it's left a sour taste in my mouth.
Does that hinder your hindsight when you look back on it, when you're supposed to be looking at that occasion, celebration, although you didn't win the final, a great achievement, does that really put a dampener on the experience? No,
no, because it wasn't on the agenda when the Scottish Cup final. We had just stayed in the Premier League. We had beaten Inverness the week before to stay up in the Premier League, which was, I think that's a record, staying in the Premier League. Once we got there, I kept them there. It wasn't on the agenda. It wasn't until after the Scottish Cup, and then a couple of days after that's when it all just started, because the season was finished, and that's when it took off. And it's still a bitter taste, but great days. It had nothing to do with the supporters and the time that I had at Falkirk, and even as a player and a coach and a manager. It's just something that should have ended better. It should have been conducted a little bit better. And to look back and look and see everybody diving for cover, because that's what you do at football. You see everybody protecting themselves. It's all self-protection, and to see them on, you go, oh, it wasn't nice. You know what I mean? It wasn't nice.
It's a great personal achievement to be able to guide Falkirk to the first Scottish Cup final. It was 97. They lost to Kilmarnock. So that's something you must be.
Well, 2 League Cup semi-finals, 2 League Cups into Europe. 2 leagues, Challenge Cup, League Cup, 2 League Cup semi-finals into Europe, Scottish Cup final against Rangers. Fantastic. Numerous players coming through, 21s. Real good success, and do it on a budget of nothing. Yeah. But our recruitment was spot on. Our recruitment, everybody, how did they do it? Because we work.
Was it always an objective to do well in the cups? was that something that you always look to try and achieve? Let's see how far we can get in.
I wanted to take Falkirk away. Everybody says it can't be done. There was a couple of things that we didn't achieve. We never got them in the top 6, which was always, and we didn't sell a player for over 380 grand. I think I hold the record. Falkirk got, we didn't, and that was that. We wanted to sell, because we were building the academy. And even when we left, all the guys, you talk about Folty's laddie and Sibbald and all these kids were kids in the academy that we were doing. We put a lot of work into it. Not just me, everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody, we put a lot of work. So everybody deserves a pat on the back. But we were non-stop. We were never away from Holland. Over in Holland, how was it done? Going over doing our work, looking at it in the style of football. But that's one thing, even if you were to end this interview right now, everybody is their own in terms of style of football. You need to do it right. You need to be a purist. You need to play. And I think that comes from my father earlier on. The light bulb moment, going into Celtic to see how it's really done, where you have to dominate the ball.
Yeah.
Bulls and Matadors. You know what I mean? You have to be the Matador. You're Glasgow Celtic. You have to become that accomplished footballer. Wish I'd done Atlanta earlier and, all that stuff. And then taking it into football and saying, right. So every player I try to sign has to be able to look after the football. Yeah. There you go, I'll look after it, I'll play it. And then, or even right down to centre halves, even right nowadays, right down to footballers, to goalkeepers, you have to be a footballer, you have to be good with your ball, you have to be the one that's starting to play. And that's what we've done at Falkirk. So to do all that, play total football, I told you, Rangers in the cup final up against the great man, Walter and Coisty. They knew they were in a game that day. They knew that, they acknowledged that. They won the cup, and all credit to them, and that's what it was all about. I acknowledge that. But sometimes you go,
it was only
Falkirk shouldn't be giving Rangers a football lesson. And that alone, you're going, wow. Wow.
The scoreline reflects it as well. It was a tight game,
the tactics were spot on. They played Kenny Muller and Boydie up front, and they went with a 4-4-2. We always played a sitting man in midfield, so he run the show. So the two centre half splitting it would go right into the sitting midfielder. Another two midfielders would just run. I don't know, it was Barry Ferguson and I don't know who the other one was, would just run them out. So they couldn't come to the sitting midfielder, and he was just sitting there, and they would just pop it in. So it was up to Kenny Miller and Boydie to go and get him. So they would pivot to get him. So it would go centre half. So we couldn't get in, it would go centre half, and they would just pivot. Right? But as soon as one of them would go and pivot into and it was usually Boydie pivot into the sitting midfielder, he would just go into right midfield. And my right midfielder go into second striker. So now, or my left midfielder, so now Barry Ferguson's picking up my left midfielder, it's now playing second striker, but my sitting midfielder's now playing left midfield, and Boydie's now playing right midfield. But I'm not a midfielder, I'm not a midfielder. Well, you have to match your man, and so the rotations that we had, and it was Boyle and Boyd. I think Boyd got hooked at half time. You know what I mean? So and that was this. So it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But we were into everything. See the attention to detail. Puma was kit manufacturer. Come to us last. Because we were wanting all the strips, we were wanting all the colours, we were wanting, the shorts, we were wanting the cut up the side of the shorts. We didn't accept it. It would come to us last. The training gear, it was like, they gave us bland, top, out my own money, out my own pocket, not loose, red, white, blue. So when you seen us coming on the training pitch, just the attention to detail and what we were after, and everybody was in on it. Everybody was on it. There was a guy there called Gordon White, one of these guys, just a supporter, but he was a photographer. He'd come down to training, take all the photographers. He was absolutely brilliant, and he wanted to be around about the boys. He loved it. It was a hobby for him and all that stuff. And we says it, and the groomsman, he would come with his tractor and cut the training pitch. But this time we were in at Stirling University, so we were training all the sports science, all this stuff, and he would cut the training pitch. And Gordon White would get the hand push lawnmower. I'd got in early in the morning and hand push lawnmower and do all the lines. He was a perfectionist, and the players would come out and well, what about the surface? And that was Gordon. I know he would say, just let me give me a couple of tickets and for the games, and he was on the first team bus and he was part of it. And it's guys like that are the heroes. It's guys like that. It goes, all that stuff, it goes unnoticed. But when it comes to it, you're saying, see, when we go there, you make sure you're part of it. And it's stuff that you realise when you're going through it, because when we move on to Inverness, when I went to Inverness, the board meeting was after training, board meeting up, me and the chairman and maybe one other, and it was a pie for the local shop, kind of Irish steak pies, beautiful, anything I need, Kenny Cameron, no, that was it. See, when she started getting more success, the board meetings were at night, there was more around the table, and there was more people who had more to say. And you're saying, it's not broken, it doesn't need fixed, but that's part of parcel how it moves on.
Yeah.
But Falkirk was brilliant, absolutely fantastic. Going to Hibs was my dream job, walking into Hibs as a coach, as a manager. Real difficult chairman, Rod Petrie, nothing against him, I'll always be grateful for him to give me the job. But if you look at the managers that he went through, you know, Mixie Patterline and John Collins, Terry Butcher, myself, everything, he was always chairman. I mean, everybody gets a year. And
the trend's still there with Hibs as well.
But Rod's not there now, but that was the trend. And I got well warned, you know, John was in there, and John didn't fancy him, to be honest, if I'm totally honest. But you're saying, well, I can change it and all that. And it was difficult, it was hard. But Rod, he run it, he was an accountant, he run it the way he wanted to run it, and he run a stable ship. You as a coach and a manager, you want to do better. You know, it was hard. When I first went in there, I was on holiday in America, and I got a phone call from Coyley, who was then manager at Burnley. I've just signed Stephen Fletcher. Oh, thanks very much. I heard 2 days later for Rod. Gordon Marshall's a goalie coach. Listen, I've just sacked Gordon Marshall. I'm not in the door yet. He's my big mate, still is to this day, my big mate. Why are you doing that? Undermining you, right for the off. Then you're going and saying, listen, all our kids were unbeaten, they went through the league, there are stars and all that. Right, okay, so before you go on it, there's 6 or 8 of them first team pros on your training pitch. You're going, they're not good enough, they're not ready. Now, I've done all that at Falkirk. You know what I mean? I've done all that. I know they're not ready, but it's the place they have to be with the first team.
Yeah.
Some of them have had a chance, but because they were unbeaten that year before, you're going, whoa, and then you have to say, Rod, listen, I need to get players in. And to be fair, you know, he let me bring in Craig and McBride for Falkirk, and McBride, you know, he was a sitting midfielder when I was talking about that Scottish Cup final that you couldn't get near.
Yeah.
You know, he just had eyes in the back of his head, you know, just gives it, brave as a lion, come through the Celtic youth system. You know, I knew him, how he could play, you know, I got him, come and play for me. I give me the ball and loved it, you know, and he was like a Paul McStay, gives it, he was his pivot and the quarterback in midfield. And it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So going to Hibs day, and then, as you say, how it works, Liam Miller, signed Liam Miller. Yep. God rest him. He was probably one of my best signings. Come for nothing. Made all his money. You know, Rod fell out with me because of that, because I mentioned that after I left that I'd signed Liam Miller, and I got a letter threatening me. He's got to take me to court and all that because I signed the confidentiality. And that's, you go, Red, wise up. Muller just wanted to come and say, listen, I've made my money, I just want to play football. His wife was for Edinburgh and loved it. Him and McBride were best of mates through Celtic.
Right.
So it just shows you. And then
relationships are everything.
Him and Graham Barrett, you know, the guy for Arsenal with a knee, they were the best mates for Ireland. So it was Barrett, because Liam used to come and see Graham at Falkirk, so I got to know him, so that was it. So he was free, and he comes, simple, eh? So signed that, and then we got Stokesy, and got the best out of Derek Riordan, absolutely fantastic. Derek, one of these boys for the schemes, I can relate to him.
Yeah.
Gaffer, come on, Derek, it's me you're talking to, so he knows I can't call him, so he has to tell you, Derek, listen, you owe me. Derek, you owe me. And 9 times out of 10, he would come up with the goods. That's how you manage. And no, everybody, there's different rules for different, and some might say he's getting away with, well, you know him, and all that. And that's what happened with Latapi. A lot of them, well, he gets away with, well, you're not Latapi. But they realised he could win you the game. I can remember doing a pre-season, we were working really hard. We were at Stirling University, we were running around the track, and we were coming, all the players got their tops off sweating. And Latapi was injured. He's come walking down with the sunglasses on, right, on the phone, flip-flops, chipper says, well, and I'm saying, I say, this is a problem here, because he's not working. All of them are working, they put a shift in. As soon as you got there, just at that one, and the players shouted, Russell, this is a true story. Russell, any chance of you getting a gear on doing a bit, kidding on, you're injured and all that. He was on the phone, he went, 1 minute, hold it. So listen, you carry the piano, I'll play the piano. And I just went, there you are.
Argue.
Can't argue. And he did.
No.
He did. He got away with murder. Many a time I'd be in after hard time. Where's Latapi? Where is he? Where is he? Or the boys in there having a fag. And he was just different. He would go out and run the show. Nobody would go near him. Honestly, he would run the show. He was magnificent for Falkirk. He was easily, between him and Kevin McAllister, he's the best. I would say Latapi, and McAllister was some player, wee crunchy.
He's got a stand named after him at the Falkirk Stadium as well.
So that was it, Hibs, and that was it. And it just, we finished fourth, got them into Europe, so it was cruising.
Yep.
And the next again year we went to Europe, played Maribor, who were seasoned, renowned to Europe. They were better than us. As soon as they beat us home and away. We gave them they beat us 3-0 over there, and we gave them a better game at Easter Road. But as soon as they got knocked out of Europe, 4 of their players, I think 2 of them went to Juventus. And there's a big lefty that playing with the Italian team, was it Atalanta, a big lefty pulling the strings and all. That was the quality they had in their team. They're no killing, they were better than us, but we should have done better over there in the first leg. We tried to keep it tight, and then we play Rangers Celtic. Next game in it, that's a wee bit of rumblings and all that, and before you know it, you're out the door. But to be fair, Rod didn't fancy Brian, but Brian never let himself get in a situation where Brian just kept his seat to and went down his work, coach on, so it was me and Rod all the time, so Rod couldn't sort of get the finger where Rod, try to control you in a way, you know what I mean? And Brian was, so even at the end, this is true, he says, listen, he says, we're all right with you staying, he says, but we want you to get a different assistant manager. I think he knew what the answer would be. I said, 1 goes, 2 goes, that was it. Unless he was playing the game, knowing that I was going, but and that was it. So that was really disappointing.
Yeah, because it was only 7 games in.
7 games, and we got them fourth, and we got them Europe, and it was disappointing. You're still trying to, and it was hard. And once again, as I say, because when I first went in, Stephen Fletcher got sold, Big Jonesy got sold, so you're there, you're battling it out, you have to get the best out of them. I got 52 goals out of Stokesy, Riordan and Big Nishi. 52 goals. The next again year, I think the whole Hibs team, I was looking, the whole Hibs team never scored 52 goals between them. 52 goals out of them. We got the best out of them. You just need to, and it was good. But once again, listen, never got everything right, made plenty of mistakes, got beat here and there. So sometimes you're sort of saying, well, part and parcel of the job, you have to take it. You have to, but that's a disappointment. No the regrets. That's a disappointment that you never went in there, never got longer, never got the better job, because then what do? You go and get the fuel. You say, right, next year I'll show them they've made a mistake.
Yep. A short break would see you go to Livingston
with JC. Yeah. Well, JC, there was no money there, and the boy Gordon McDougall was the chairman. Gordon McDougall was the chairman at Kildon Beef. He was up there with the best chairman. He was brilliant. He was just for all the young guys. JC, total football. No one, because my Falkirk team played against JC. Obviously everybody, mates. No. Every time we played them, we went to play with them. Right. Trust me, JC knew he was in a game. So this is, they're new mugs. Wanted that style of football at Livingston. Right, okay, right, let's go. You've got no money, nothing to work with. Get the best out of them. Then go and get the best young guys that you can. Where's the best young guys? If you're not getting them at the academy, they're still in the juveniles. All these years later, close season, what you do, and I said, I've signed 8 players, 8 16-year-old all for the juveniles. Still all the best teams at the top. Go and get the best, bring them all in. Go and work hard with them, but still work hard with the first team and play a brand of football. And we got lucky, we had 1 or 2 players like McNulty that went on to play. I think McNulty went on to play with, well, actually, do you want to know something? I got an interview for Sheffield United. Right. Sheffield United, sorry about that.
That's all right.
Or the Sheffield United boys. I went down there and got an interview, went well, got another interview, went well, got another interview, didn't go so good. Eventually Davey got the job, but in that interview, the boy was clever enough, a boy called Julian Winters. He says, what kind of Scottish players would you bring? I says, these two boys that I'm working with at Livingston, these two guys have got a chance. I didn't get the job.
Yeah.
They signed them. We Stephen Scougal and Mark McNulty, and Scougal went. He's technically a good, fantastic footballer. And McNulty went down to Coventry and all that, and over. He's at Reading and had a right good career. So and that's the kind of players what we're doing. And then I got a chance just to go. I don't know what come up. Got a chance to go to Hartlepool, and I always fancy the English Championship. And there's something I've got a real courage with my convictions, you know what I mean? And bottom of the league, 8 points out of 20 games. That'll suit me. That's a challenge I need to get in there. And I went, whoa, what have I walked into? English second division, Hartlepool. The chief executive, a bit of a rogue actually, a boy called Russell Green. A wee bit of a rogue, a wee bit of a duck and a diver and all that. You know what I mean? I got on all right with him. And then try to get that job, and it just never worked out. We got relegated. But if you look back at the numbers, my numbers were 140% better, and I'm no one for all that. It's my nephew that done all that, is into all that. We're playing golf and he says, I'm going to do all that because it was Dunfermline we were looking at. Come back, he says, look at that, come up with all the numbers. 140% better off than the previous results, which would have resulted if I was there at the start of the season. You can predict I would have finished 16th in the league, and you're talking about Bournemouths and Coventry's and all that in the league. I would have kept them in. Got on really well with the supporters down there and really enjoyed it. And then still within a year to go, come back up thinking, right, we'll go down here. We're going for the English First Division. We got relegated to the Second Division. Got the phone call after 2 weeks, why you're not at your work? I said, serious? I said, serious? What do you mean? Well, it's close season, pre-season. No, you only get 2 weeks. And you need to come back down. I says, well, there's no players there. What do you want me to do? So it's the secretary, the woman, Maureen, that's on the phone saying that. And I'm saying, right. I said, Maureen, is he standing there? I'm saying, aye. Maureen, aye, right, okay. I told her. I said, right, Maureen. I says, what I'll do is I'll phone you back tomorrow and I'll try and get in the nectar. And that'll be me. Right, okay. No, I'm not going to do it. Phone Maureen. She said, listen, Maureen, for the rest of the close season, I don't want paid and all that. Phone call up, John, listen, we're moving on, you've lost your job. Well, fair enough, that's the way it goes. You know what I mean? And in that close season, I had the big boy that played for Leicester City, what's his name? Stevie Howard, remember, big centre forward, big Stevie Howard. And he was good for me, I looked after Stevie. And he was good, and in the close season, I'm sitting, got the phone call in the window at Christmas. You don't know, well, Stevie's just been away on loan to Sheffield Wednesday, funny enough. No phone call to tell me he was my centre forward. Never allowed to bring players in because of all that stuff. The only one that we had the boys, Charlie White, you know, the guy that's doing it Wigan, that took the wee. But Charlie was there on loan from, I think it might have been Middlesbrough or Sunderland. Right. And they kept that one going. So you're in there trying to do it, and it never worked out. But once again, went down there myself. Courage of your convictions, went in, worked with the staff that's there. Couldn't ask for two better guys. Richie Humphreys, you know, Richie was a legend doing it. Hartlepool, Sheffield boy, and a boy called Mickey Barn, who was a real legend at Hartlepool. True, when Big Tatty Cooper was there, he was in it. You know, when they had all the success here. Brilliant boys. Absolutely, you're sort of saying, what could you ask for? Two great lads. And you're sort of saying that, you're sitting back, you're saying that's what football's all about. Yeah. That's what football. You know, we were still fighting relegation about 3 days out, and we're going on the bus down to play, I think it was Tranmere, and the phone goes and the kit man goes, aye, no bother. And Mickey started laughing. And I'm sort of saying, what's that all about? And Mickey just said, no, I'm not telling you. And then he says, go and tell him. I said, what is it? He said to come and tell him. No, I'm not telling you. He said, tell him. That was the chief executive. Said, mind, there's no pre-match meal for the staff. I says, well, but Mickey says, that's been the case since you've come. He says, but he says, I'm not going to tell you, we just go in and think we're players anyway. Right. She's serious. I went, aye. That was it. Just all easy. But it's part and parcel. Honestly, it's part and parcel. But it's so different because when I was at Falkirk, when I'm telling you about the cut, the pitches, the lines on the pitch, the balls that we trained with, they were all washed, the mannequins, the equipment, the standards that we set, it was, you're going in there and saying, only if you could do that, you'll be better for it. But everybody thinks it costs you money, it doesn't. It does not cost you money if it's everybody's got a pride in what they do.
Yeah. And it's not that you came out publicly stating that you were wanting to stay on.
I wanted to stay on, and I got on well with they seen the job because I got manager of the month.
That's right, February.
And all that stuff, and all that. I was doing a right good job. Went down to Sheffield United, we beat Sheffield United, all that stuff. It was good, and I'm sort of saying, right, if I'm getting about this, and I wanted to bring a brand of football, it was a wee bit back to front.
Yeah.
You know, if you're doing your 6'2", you're a centre half. No, that's not big enough for a centre half. I'm full back. Oh, what's a centre half? Yeah, 6'4", you know what I mean? And you're sort of saying, right, okay, I get it, everybody to their own, but I want to bring in my brand of football. And I was instilling it in there, it was coming. I was getting the best out of them. I was really getting the best out of them. But yet, you know, you need that belief for the powers above and that backing to see what you're doing. Everybody wants a quick fix and it's not always happened, but the numbers tell you I've done the job. So it was Hartlepool, then
Caley Thistle was
it? Aye, Caley Thistle.
Next, there'd be a bit of a gap in between. You'd be
the sabbatical. Aye, so I take the sabbatical. I do that. I like to see. I like enjoy myself. Enjoy life. I'm not talking about partying or drinking and all. I just like doing my stuff, you know. If I've got a real kind of character in terms of if you've got to do anything, you've got to do it 100%. So if it's a cycling, and I'm the Tour de France, and I'm going to lose all the weight, and it's weight to ratio, and I'm Tour de France, and it's picking up the bike, and I have to cycle so many hours. If it's a gym, pumping iron, I'm up to 16 stone, and I was, you know, 6 meals a day, 16 stone, all the protein, all that stuff. And if it's a football, it's all in. So when it's no, it's a golf, I think I'm going to play an Open. Honestly, I've got the worst golf swing you've ever seen in your life. But to me, I think I'm going to play an Open.
There was something else that was swinging that wasn't very good either.
Aye.
Your Falkirk and Mo Johnston.
Aye.
So going on to Caley Thistle, again, you would reach a League Cup final.
So it was brilliant to go up there. I just sort of said, do I fancy that? And there's something about it, away out the way. But I'd done my due diligence. Big Terry was coming for Caley to go to Hibs.
Yep.
I'd done my due diligence. I knew a guy up there called Scott Kelleher, and I'm going to give Scott Kelleher, I'm going to look in the character, right in the camera and say that. Scott Kelleher is the best coach, one of the best coaches I've worked with. Born bred, don't know what they call them for Inverness.
I don't know. We'll make something up.
Invernessian, whatever it is.
That sounds good to
Born
me.
bred up there. But I knew Kells from Celtic. He was in the Celtic youth team when I was at Celtic, and I used to mess about with all the kids. Paul Douglas and Big Pot sits now at Rafe Rovers and all these guys. And Kells was in there. So I knew Kells. So when I went up, Kells says, aye, this. So I'd done my due diligence and saying, he's built no a bad team in here. So when I got in there, saying, right, great, never changed anything. Richie Foran was a captain here in the dressing room, but then Richie picked up a bad shoulder injury, dislocated shoulder, actually popped it.
Right.
Should have got it screwed back in. I've had the same injury.
Right.
Never, so it was always affecting him. But still running the dressing room. Big boy like Gary Warren, big centre half, heart on his sleeve, wet head or everything. Saying, oh, you remind me of somebody. Oh, all right, you just want, and to be fair, no disrespect, Terry was get the ball in the other half, play the game in the other half, don't take any chances. Oh, I'll drip feed you. He was just, well, give me everything that you've got.
Yeah.
Quite a bright guy, give me everything that you've got. I'm a bit of that, I'm a bit of that. Also, you're the number 2, you're in Richie, then you. Then I've got wee Graham Shinney, He's now the captain at Aberdeen.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm not going to play with a left winger. Can you do the full role? And you do this, you do that. And 2 full-backs plays wingers. Wingers come in, play in midfield, give me that. So much so, if you look at the semi-final against Celtic in the Cup, Shinney gets it, cuts it right across him, another full-back, Ravens coming in to put it in. We're doing all that on the training pitch. Yeah. And it was just drip-feeding all that stuff in. Duncan Shearer was my assistant manager, Big Dunk. Funny boy. He reminded me of Neil Oliver, you know, that dry sense of humour, quiet and all that. Kelleher was, he took the kids, but Kelleher was the go-between between the first team and me in the office. And he laughed at himself, and all the players laughed at him, but he was a fantastic coach. He said, give me this, give me that. I want a passing drill. So eventually we sort of spun it around and Kells come with me, then Latapi come in and Duncan went and took the kids and Kelleher come with me, so it was me, and that was it. And that's what got success. So that first year, I think we got to the League Cup
final, lost on penalties to Aberdeen at Celtic Park.
At Celtic Park, they beat us. It wasn't a great game, we never played our great, but could have went anyway. The semi-final was better when we were down to 9 men against Hearts at Easter Road, 5 minutes to go, and we got an equaliser, 9 men. We held them at extra time and beat them on penalties. And that sort of gave us the grounding for the next again year. Went in that pre-season. You know, pre-season, you ask any manager, they'll all say double sessions and get the fitness. I never done one pre-season, one afternoon pre-season. I says to all the players, come back body weight, come back lean, fit. Everybody come back, we're off and running. Every one of them come back spot on. They were a right good bunch up there. Everybody stayed in Inverness. There was nowhere else to stay, so there was a real spirit amongst them. The guys like Gary Warren, all the English guys, they wanted it. All their families were up there. They all stayed, you know, they were wanting to be part of the community. Kenny Cameron, the chairman, was different class. I know nothing about football. That's what you here, get on with it, you know what I mean? But wanted success. And then, so you got on with it. So it was just about drip feeding my stuff in. So the next again year, we come in, they all come in, boom. Trained in the morning, all football stuff, hammering it, all working. The only thing that we done, we played all the Highland Leagues team at night. So we train in the morning, go home, get your dinner, back to the stadium, get your dinner. All that was getting implemented. The training pitch was getting cut more regular, all the stuff that we're all into, all the stuff. And then we would go and get asleep, play the Highland League. And that's when we went to get success. That's when we done it. We went on to win the Scottish Cup, finished third in the league. And another team for the first time in a history tournament to Europe. And, most important thing, done it playing great football, real proper football. Everything that I've said, I've talked about sitting midfielders and all that. I signed one guy, I've signed a boy called Greg Tansey. I could remember from Inverness when I took him on with Falkirk and he had left. And when I went and get in touch with him to come back, Partick Thistle were in for him, but I got him. And his range of passing was second to none. His range of passing, ball striking. So he was my sitting midfielder. And then it was just getting the best out of him. And then I says to Kells the first week in, what have you got in the kids? He says, I think you'll be surprised. Well, I keep saying this, and I never want to say this because I would say, where are you going with this? It'd be like somebody seeing Messi for the first time, wee left foot. You go, wow. Now, don't forget, I'm away up in the Highlands, not renowned for their football. You know what I mean? You know, no a great big massive stadium, no renowned for their football and all that, and the kids are in the academy and all that. He says, I turns up and watch your kids. I says to Kells, you come in the first team, we're training in the morning, I'll come with you in the afternoon and see the kids. This wee skinny guy, left foot and nutmegging, passing it, getting it back, round the corners, whipping them, chipping them, scoring goals. Ryan Christie. Yeah. How lucky am I? So it must be, so when I'm seeing Ryan Christie for the first time up in the Highlands, I'm saying, is this for real? Because you could see instantly, he just went, is this for real? When I looked at Kells went, whew. And there was another few of them, the boy Polworth and things like that, saying, right, next again, they're all with me in the first team. That was him. Yeah. And being Ryan Christie, how humble he is, you know, he never changed his peg. He always still changed weight in the way dressing room with all the kids and all that, but trained with the first team. He used to say, Ryan, right, okay, never come out. Couldn't keep him at the first team. Because he's a kind of player I would pay money to watch. And the first team loved him, the boys loved him, and he was in that first team and everybody said, oh, he needs to grow, he needs to get strong, he needs to get him in the gym. Playing first team, training with the first team like me doing at Swansea, as the weeks and the months go by, you're getting streetwise, you know how to put your body and you know you're not getting flung about, you're flinging guys about, you're getting stronger, you're getting quicker, the full-time intensity of the training, 2 or 3 months, off and running. And then when Celtic, JC was at Celtic, I said, I've got one. And then JC sort of had to look past it on, never got to stay in his way, and the rest history, down there playing English Premiership.
For reaching the Scottish Cup final, you'd see off St Mirren, Partick Thistle, Raith Rovers, and then it would be Celtic in the semi-final. It was a match with some incidents in it, but...
We got lucky, We got lucky.
I was going to ask. What
Well,
was
we're just talking about referees
Yeah.
and everything like that. If the referees had seen it and doing it right, and there was a referee, I think it was the boy Muir at the side of the goal, but it just shows you Josh Meekins handles it. I think it was Griffiths had a
that's
header and he handled it. It was a sending off down to 10 men, there was only one winner. We get away with it, and you're saying to yourself, oh, this might be our day. So here, if you've never seen it, you can't give it, and that goes for the fourth official, the one behind the goal.
Yeah.
And you go, here we go. But then,
did you see it standing? What was your initial reaction?
I thought it was handball. I thought, here we go. And I'm actually sort of saying, right, what can we do here? What can we do? And when he says play on.
Are you looking for live entertainment for your event, wedding, function? Then look no further than Judy and the Jaywalkers. Judy and the Jaywalkers are a female-fronted 4-piece band based in the central belt of Scotland, regularly playing in Glasgow and Edinburgh. They cover a wide variety of music, from 50s rock all the way up to present-day Taylor Swift and everything in between, including 60s soul, 70s disco, 80s ballads, and my personal favourite, 90s cheese. You can catch their live videos on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok, as well as upcoming dates. Now, back to the podcast.
Right, here we go.
Did your heart sink a wee bit? Were you like,
Aye, definitely, because it's hard enough playing against the old firm and Celtic, you know. So here we go, but don't forget, we beat them in the league.
Yep.
We beat them in the league, I think it was the second game of the season. We beat them up at Inverness. We beat them 1-0 up at Inverness. So we were winning. There was no... One thing I do about my teams, there's no that inferior complex, no matter who they are. I wouldn't let anybody, as a footballer, go out with that thinking, oh, this player's better than me, they're better than me, because you've got 2 legs, you can get fit, you can run. The least you can do is keep going for 90 minutes and match them. Now, it might be a little bit of great... Like, that's what I used to do as a player. I can remember playing at Parkhead once, and Charlie Nicholas gave me the old see you, and all the boys were giving me stick, and I would say, well, fair enough. But the guys I play against are going to have to do that, because I'm not giving up. I'm going to be there, and that's sort of try to get across to my players, that and what it takes. And then, as you say, so that was luck. And then another bit of luck, obviously, is Gordon getting sent off. But you call it luck. Marley Watkins, that's now doing the business, is that's the reason why we beat Hearts in that semi-final. Marley Watkins is a freaky nature in terms of fitness levels and consistency, running power for 90 minutes and extra time. He was a freaky... He'd done the pre-season running backwards, honestly. He was a freaky nature. And so we sort of placed him on an edge of the box. So on a counter-attack in a corner, if it wasn't, he would be the one breaking it. It just so happened on the day, he was the one that broke. And it was Hughes, the fullback, that was chasing him. It was renowned to be quick. He's no catching Marley, trust me. And once he gets in that stride, and he's off in it. So, but when he hit it, I saying he's overhit it. When Gordon come out, he's just done enough to get the toe off, has to go off. And then that was it. So I think that was a bit of the 2 bits of luck, us getting the penalty, the 2 bits of luck.
It was a well-contested match.
Well, once Celtic went into 10 men and we went to injury time, my team talk was, listen boys, seize the moment. You've not got a better team. Not got a better chance to beat Celtic, and you don't have to go looking for it. Just keep doing what we've been doing all season. I defy you to go against it. Stay with what we're doing. Do every day what we do on the training pitch. The standards, how I want you to pass the ball, everything I've talked about. The demands, the tempo, the passing, getting at them, getting after the ball, passing it, and all the training that we do. That wingers coming in and teams playing against us, going, what are they doing? And it come into fruition. We're Shinny getting there, putting it across. Davy Raven, my other fullback, putting it in to get in the winner. You're gone, and all the luck that goes before it, you're gone. Maybe our names on the cup, but there was no pressure us playing against Celtic. All the pressure was on Celtic.
You would win 3-2 and go into the final, ironically, against
so all the pressure shifted, because they were the team above, we were the Premier League team. So how do you handle that? What do you do? And can you handle it? What's that? But all the work was done on the training pitch, weeks, for the years and weeks and months. That doesn't just happen that day. That's, players can't do it. They need to go. A new player comes in, he needs to go. He can't. You need to recruit. You need to do it. You're building. You need to give young ones a chance. And that was years, 2 years of hard work, or a year and a half of hard work, bringing that in, and trial and error and making mistakes and things not working, but don't put it in the bin because it works the next time. And I hear it all now. We were doing that. Mark McGee, managers get beaten if you beat them and give them a do. And managers are a wee bit, they don't want to give their team or the opposition any praise whatsoever. You know what I mean? And rightly so, they want to back their own team. Mark McGee is the only one. We played Motherwell, beat Motherwell, and he says after it, when you play against Inverness, it's like playing against Glasgow Celtic. They pop up everywhere, they rotate all over the place, and you don't know who you're playing against. And you sort of say, what a compliment that is. You know what I mean? That's what we had at Inverness. And once again, it wasn't me, guys like Kelleher and Latapi. Latapi on the game was second to none. He would be in your ear, you need to change your shape, we're getting a wee bit running, he'd be in your ear, cool, calm, collected, where I was a wee bit more lively, you know what I mean, and all that stuff. And it was brilliant. So it was to do that for Inverness. The boys deserved it. They deserved it. But the previous year in the League Cup final, that gave us a wee incline what was required. But to do it at Hampden, and as you say, against Falkirk, my old club and the team, that, and all that stuff. After it, I went over and gave the fans, and I got a nice reception for the Falkirk fans.
You would be 1-0 up with Caley Thistle. They would equalise after a sending off. I think he gets sent off in the 75th minute.
It was Van Dijk scored the free kick.
Oh, for the final.
For the final, aye. Granty's boy, Big Peter.
Yep. So he equalised on the 80th minute. How were you feeling? Down to 10 men. We equalised.
We had two. We were trying to get a substitute on because we felt the two strikers were down to 10 men. The two strikers were staying up the park, and we wanted one more midfielder get back in and help me in midfield, and it was James Vincent. The reason I gave James Vincent, when I went in, Terry Butcher tried to take him to Easter Road to Hibs, and he went away down to see Easter Road and Hibs and all that. And when he come back up to Inverness, I convinced him, stay here, this is the style of football. And he stayed at Inverness. To my surprise, he stayed at Inverness, and he was on the substitute bench that day. We were trying to get him on at midfield, and we had to put him on at right back because Tremarco got sent off.
Yes.
Shinnie went over to left back, and James Vincent went into right back. James Vincent and Marley are Watkins, great mates, really good pals, and all that stuff. James sort of looks after him, Marley's the kind of, and all that. And it just so happens that Marley would break, Marley goes up, cuts in, hits it, tries to whip it in.
The thing I found funny, I was watching this
and Vincent gets here for right back.
I was watching it back, obviously, before this today, and Ian Crocker says Inverness are hanging on a bit here. And then within 20 seconds, Watkins is up.
Right.
Jamie McDonald spills the shot.
And he's for right back, tapping it in for right back, and we're going, what's on the clock? 2 minutes. We're going, right, we've got it. And it's fate. It's fate. As I say, that story about James Vincent, him scoring it, him and Marley being the semi-final against Hearts in the League Cup, never give up, down to 10 men, down to 9 men, 10 men there, never give up. And you're saying, maybe just the stars have aligned, maybe it's just our day. And I think it was, that was our year. That was our year. Absolutely fantastic. And to do it in the celebrations, they done it well. It took us about 5 hours to get home because we were stopping at Perth, as usual, stop, all that stuff. The cup was going everywhere, and then we were having it. It took us about 2 hours to get out of Hampden because there was a drugs test, and then you're waiting on that, and then the time you get on the bus and up there, but then they put all the wives and all that, but all the young boys are what to get in the tune. So then you're hanging about, then the next again day you come in, full breakfast, all the wives, everybody, all the families up, everybody catered for, then out on the double-decker buses too, all the families and everything, going all around Inverness, and no matter the small in numbers, it's still something that sticks with you. And then we went back to the big public park, the big live band, and we're up there with a cup having it, and it's something that you'll never ever forget. It's
obviously a great achievement for the team, for Inverness, but what does it mean to you to have a Scottish Cup winners medal?
Well, I've come close a few times as a player, semi-finals and things like that, so just to get it, but it's no the medal, it's doing it, it's the achievement. As I say, it's the achievement. I couldn't even tell you where my medal is now. Honestly, I'm no one of them for you wouldn't walk in my house and think this is a house of a footballer with strips or anything like that. You know, my wife says, hey, I give you a lot of stuff away and things like that. So I couldn't tell you, but it's achievement in doing it with that group of boys because they bought into everything I was trying to achieve. You know, as I say, Terry was a wee bit different. I had to drip feed it when I first went in. And as soon as I got that pre-season, I says to Kelleher, this is it, I'm all in, I'm total football, I'm playing out for the back camera version, I'm doing this, and he's gone, I want to get all that, give me a bit of this, give me a bit of huddle, a tap at my back saying, do you think this will work, that will work, you know, and then even, it was absolutely fantastic. The only thing, all good things come to an end, and all the good players, you know, we've not got that kind of budget and finance to keep them all. So your guys like your Christies and your Shinnies and your Tansies and all these guys are moving on, and you're saying, have I took it as far as I can? Have I took 2.5 years, if I took it as far as I can? You're saying, maybe aye, maybe no. And then one or two things happen that, you know, as I say, they bored, they all want to get, and as soon as it comes down to putting forward who was signed and shouldn't have signed, listen, I'm open to everybody. My expertise is, and you're sort of saying wee things like that, and you're saying, maybe it's time for me just to call it quits, and that was it.
Too many cooks in the kitchen, maybe.
That was it.
You won the PFA and the Scottish Football.
I swept the board. I'd done that away back when I was at Falkirk. The league, I won manager of the year away back, and when I first started off in Falkirk, first division manager of the year. That year that we went up. So to do it again, you know, up in the top flight, it just shows you the longevity I've got, and that's what makes you proud. You know, that's what makes you. That's it. The most important, I'll say it again, I would give it all up. Playing wise, management, all the successes, all the highs, all the lows, injuries, disappointment, to start off again at under 15, under 12. I loved it. I loved every minute. Going away back to the guys that come to my door, and because, you know, I'd get into trouble, you're coming training, you know, guys and all the teams, and, you know, Jimmy Dunn's at Hutchie, Alan Docherty's, Vincent Abishano, a guy, you know, it was just, knew where all the good players are, and juvenile, and coming out against all these guys, and all the teams, and all the players that I played with, Hutchie, Edina Hibs, and, you know, I would give it all up to start. I loved every single minute. I miss it.
That comes across. It
I miss it,
does.
honestly. I miss it so much so I find it at times really difficult to go and watch football because I get frustrated, and I get a bit, when I come back and the missus says, what's the matter? Whoa. And sometimes I'm sort of saying, well, if I'm not there, it doesn't hurt me. And then another guy says, but you need to see. I says, oh, don't worry. I'm keeping up with the trends. I've already got my team, got my players who I'm got to sign for the next team I go in. And then it frustrates me, or no, it doesn't frustrate me, it disappoints me that when you're looking to get back in, that it doesn't come your way. Because don't forget, there's been disappointments with Rafe Rovers in Dunfermline.
I was going to mention...
Well, Rafe Rovers are wet in 14 games. You know what I mean? 14 games. They never won a game since October. No excuses. I'll take full responsibility for everything. Don't worry about it. I'm not one of them to go. But the window's closed, so you can't get players. All your goalies are injured. All your best players are injured. And I'll tell you, Ross Callaghan is up at Ross County now, injured. He was the best player. Scott Robertson, that played for Dundee United, Scotland, injured. And we Lewis Vaughan, you know, just got his testimonial the other night, they're one of the best players at the club. He was on loan at Dumbarton, scoring goals for Dumbarton in the same league, and we get relegated. And you're saying to yourself, there's someone never win a game for October, and you're saying, wow, I never had the money to get players in, so you have to go in and try and get the best out of them. And it just never worked. That's the only club that the numbers never worked. It never went up and it never went down. It stayed there and resulted in... and that was a disappointment. And I say that, and I think the Rafe Rovers fans took it the wrong way. It was nothing. It was, for me, a disappointment that you're involved with a club that get relegated. I don't want that. I don't want it for Rafe Rovers, and I don't want that for the supporters. And I think one or two of them took it the wrong way. I wasn't meaning. I was sincere in what I meant, and that was disappointing. That was really disappointing.
And I think with the likes of I mean, Raith Rovers and Dunfermline, even Ross County when you were there as well. You're going in at halfway point or later.
I went in at Ross County at Christmas time. I think I went on Christmas Eve. I was eating a pot noodle for my Christmas dinner, but that's football. Come on, you get used to it. Come on, I mean,
did we ask what flavour?
It was beef and tomato.
Oh, no,
you're chicken.
That is
chicken and mushroom.
We'll end it here, I think.
So anyway, the long story, I was in there and bottom of the league and we finished 10th. So instead of staying, we went up to, that was 85% better off than the previous manager, who is Stuart Kettlewell. It's got a gig at Motherwell, and I went in there and done that, and I wait for a Motherwell job and kind of get in, and you're going, well, that's part and parcel of football. But I'm not against anyone. Like, everybody getting all the best, wish them all the best. There's no bitterness, there's disappointment. No, I'm too old to be bitter, too old to get, well, if that's it, if nobody fancies you, right, for the way you conduct yourself, the way you speak, your intellect, or anything like that, there's nothing you can do about it. Your banter, there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing, you just go, might be too much for them. So this guy might ask questions, this guy. And I think there's a lot of people in at clubs of self-preservation saying, I'm in here, I'm Cousty, I'm not wanting that guy coming in. And all you're doing is going in to make it better. You're saying, this needs to be better. What's the matter? Is that not how it's done? That's how it has to be done. I'm hearing Brendan moaning about the pitch at Parkhead. He's right, he's a manager of Celtic. All he's doing is, I think he'll say, he'll know why it's not as good, but he'll say, how can we make it better? That's what you do as a manager. I have to mention Dunfermline. I know we've been going on too long, but we have to mention Dunfermline. When I went into Dunfermline, that was another one in there. That's probably the best chairman I ever worked with, Ross McCaffrey. Not a great mate, not a great mate or anything like that. But I went in there and there was an acknowledgement from me knowing what he's put into that club. He put into that club when it was on its backside, he went in and rescued it and bought it off the bank and done it and got the consortium and rescued it and kept it afloat. He's a man that put all his own money in and all that, right? He's a man that done that and saved them. He was there for about 12, 14 years. He was a chairman when I went in. He's the one that never gave me the job. Because he gave Peter Grant the job, and it never worked out. So he says, you've got on with it and get another job. So I got a phone call, say, listen, you need to put your CV in. I put my CV in and went and got the job. As soon as I got the job, the chairman was right there. As soon as I got it, the first guy I met was the chairman, right? Then he took over, signed the contract. And I was sitting talking, and he was telling me all that stuff. He was getting real hassle for the fans because they weren't getting success and where they are and scratching his car and giving him abuse in a supermarket and all that. And I'm saying, he says, I've had enough. I've had enough. I says, are you sure I've had enough? So his club was Dunfermline. Wasn't it Celtic? Wasn't it Rangers? It was Dunfermline. That loyalty and values he had, as I say, it just wham! It just hit you like a ton of bricks. He wasn't interested about sitting in team buses, and he was more interested about how's the groomsman doing? Is your lawnmower working? Are you wanting a cup of tea, chairman? No, I'm going down to see the. And you say, that's my kind of guy. He's not want to be telly guy. That's my kind of guy. Love him or love him. He was for Dunfermline, and that hit me. We got beat 5-0 from Morton, and he phoned me that night. He says, John, can I come and speak to you? And he says, you come into the club on a Sunday morning? He says, aye, no bother. I'm going, this could be a sticky one. Went in, he says, well, how was the game? I said, it wasn't as bad as you make out with this, that. But he realised, he says, you're two centre-halves. He says, that was the first time they played together, and it was the first time I think the two of them have played for about 2 months. I says, aye, it wasn't that, chairman, we just thought we roast off. He went, aye. He says, I was hearing that's wee bits and pieces I was hearing. Next thing he says, what needs done, what do I need? I says, what? What do you need? What needs done? He says, we're coming up for the window, what needs done? And I just went, that's the first time a chairman's ever sort of says, what do you need? What needs done? Usually you're saying, chairman, can I get?
You're doing the asking.
And I'm just going, see if the Dunfermline supporters could see that. What it cares. As I say, it's Dunfermline. And that resonated with me, and I'm just like, I want it for him, that guy. And then but he was getting out of it. He says, I'm retiring, and he was passing on to the Germans and all that, and the Germans were coming in, so they were coming in, so I was sort of double dealing then when it come to the window, he says, we've no money, you're going to have to duck and dive, do what you do, spin the plates. I says, no problem. I had guys on loan that were donated at Christmas. I could get the impacts, but the money was still in the budget. You know what I mean? There was another guy that wasn't getting a game, so he was under contract. He says, cancel my. That comes back into the budget. Then I was ducking and diving and trying to get better players and doing this and doing that. And then one of the Germans, the boy Thomas Megalit's in there saying, he sent me a text saying, listen, there'll be no players coming in here unless I get the say so. But Thomas is in Germany. Right, so I says, chairman, I says, can I? He says, I showed him, leave that to me, I'll deal with that. Next again, day come in, he says, go and do what you want. So I think he says, I'm the chairman of this football club until I'm not. It gets done my way. Go and do what we do, duck and dive. And he says to me, you better stay up. He says, because I think it's went the other way, Thomas, me and you. And I says, fine. And unfortunately, it never happened. And do you want to know something? This is true. Anybody do their stats? Once again, I'm no numbers guy. I take it on the chin, right? 130% better than the previous results. If I was in there for the start of the season, they would have finished fifth in the league. It was 0.2 behind points ratio and behind Inverness, who finished fourth and made the playoffs. That's what we've done. And yet we still get relegated. Everybody says get relegated. See, but that's not a true story. And see some of the football. Listen, see if the Dunfermline fans know their stuff. Some of the football that we played was unbelievable. Couldn't get it consistently, week in, week out, week in. It was up, down, up, down. And that's what I was saying to you. Even away back in the day at Falkirk and Inverness, trial and error, you can't get it. It's 2 years of hard work to get it. And that's where I was at. And I really enjoyed it. That was a right good football club. I really enjoyed it. I loved that football club. Same with Raith Rovers, honestly. And I look at them. I've got a soft spot for the two of them. Mm-hmm. I've got a soft spot for the two of them. And Ross County. Ross County, I felt I was hard done by at Ross County. I should have, doing what I'd done, I should have kept her. But it was a hard time up at Ross County because it was COVID. So there was no socialising. I never really got to know anybody and all that stuff. Never really got to know the chairman. Got paid for what I'd done. Got in for was to keep them up. Then he had a decision to make, and I knew that they were talking to Malky even before I got the gig. I think Malky had a wee bit of, I don't fancy that now. It's a wee bit noose around my neck where I'm going. Give me I'll do it. And we got it. And all credit to the boys. It's not me, it's everybody that I work with and the players. And it's the players. It's the players. You only set the ground rules and the players say, roll the sleeves up and say, it's the players that deserve it all, you know, and the character, the environment and everything like that. So it was great, as I say, no regrets, disappointments yet. And it's not finished yet, honestly, it's not finished.
I don't believe it is.
There's a frustration there. My frustration is, how does people not realise if you're a real purist in football, right, and you're looking for that kind of manager, right, and I hear them all saying it, how do they not realise and say, that's my guy? How would they know that's my guy? How would they not saying it, you know? How was Aberdeen not saying to Shinnie, oh, by the way, Shinnie, how was Yogi? Because I know what Shinnie would say. He plays the game the right way, proper manager, proper players manager. When they're looking for a manager and they know I'm interested in the job, and you go, but then you go, well, if they didn't fancy you, there's nothing you can do it. Mm-hmm. So you know where I'll be in the morning. I'll be doing seeing a grandbear and it's giving me great joy and seeing her growing up, or I'll be hacking it on the golf course, having a laugh, rolling about. Well, no, doing press ups and sit ups on the golf course and singing and a wee and somebody's back swinging all that when you're trying to take it serious. You're loved a few of them.
I mean, it sounds like you're in a great place, although frustrated that not being within football, but in terms of...
Listen, I coached for the SFA. I was a tutor for the SFA, coached all the B badges and A badges and all these young players coming through. I've seen them all coming through. I've seen good ones, bad ones, all that. You know, you've got an eye for it. Mm. I could be sitting talking to you, there's a game going on there, sitting talking to you, right, 90 minutes, and you go, he's never even watched that game, right? See, when it's finished, you say, who's the player there? I say, that guy there and that guy there. You've just got an eye for it. Mm-hmm. It's like seeing Christie, you just go, whoa! Mm-hmm. Right, and although Christie's, you're seeing Polworth, you go, whoa! You just see it. You just got an eye for it. That wee, and Schmeichel, all these guys, Stokesy, you just get it. The boy O'Donnell, when I went down to watch, he come on as substitute for 20 minutes. And that's what caught us. He's just done something. I'm saying, what about him? What, just something. And when you go back and it's just something that catches your eye. So, listen, there's a wee bit of, and I've seen all these coaches coming through, and I've coached them all and tutored them, and I wish them all the best. And that's the way everything evolves. You know, I'm talking about my man, Jim Duffy, and the Clay Chocolates, and I was coming through, and all them, and I'm sure that there's still life in me yet. And it frustrates me that, you know, if you want to do it right, and you really, what they're scared of, somebody that's sort of pushing the boundaries, saying, no, that's not good enough. No, that's not good enough. You know, injured players going away at 2 o'clock. Why are you away at 2 o'clock? Why are you away at 1 o'clock? Because I was in that Glasgow car, and the guys that I travel with, training's finished and they're away. But you're injured. See, if you were playing the Scottish Cup final on Saturday, would you be? No, you'd be wanting treatment for the physio, wouldn't you? Aye, to give you every chance to play. But we're just playing a league game on Saturday, so why are you not still here? So if you're injured, you're in here at 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock, unless the physio says so. And it's all that stuff. That's the standard I set at the football club. You know, but I can't. I've got a wee groin strain. There's nothing matter with your chest and your biceps and in the swimming pool. We can always find a way. And I think that's what's sort of creeping in. And because you're sort of saying, no, that's what I want. Greenspan, no, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. I'm wanting that, I'm wanting this, I'm wanting that. You're not having a go at them. You're in it with them. Because there's a collective. So see when we win the Scottish Cup. That's my kit man. That's Jack. He's now funny enough as the kit man up there. That's Jack that played a massive part of that because he knows, I better make sure this is right. I better make sure I'm wanting forget nothing because I know what I'm got to. That's my physios. That's my physios. That's my captain Richie Foran. It never played for me because after his shoulder done his knee, it's walking the team out in the Scottish Cup final because he's in the dressing room banging the drum on what I'm after. That's my Gary Warren. That's my Graham Shinney saying, this is what the gaffers want us. We're going to implement it. This is the way it goes. So see anybody that's slacking, it's same. It's setting the standard. Every time I went back to Celtic, when I went in, anybody slacking, boom.
Even like the lower leagues of Scottish football, majority of it's running volunteers, and it's people like that who you know are doing it for the right reasons because it's like that team unity.
Do you think it's getting done for the right reasons now in terms of football, in terms of full-time football? I don't think everybody's in it for the love of it. So I think society is that. That's nothing against the people that are in it. I think I've seen a lot of people going against their principles and their values and their philosophy to be in the game, to stay in the game, and I go, I couldn't do that. I seen a great interview with Mark Warburton. I text Davy Weir when he was in at Rangers. I text Mark Warburton when he was in at Rangers. He was getting stick for the Rangers fans, and I text him because I'm a purist. I seen Rangers getting a throw and it wasn't thrown up the line to flick it on, it was thrown to get it back, to keep it, to get out the other side. I recognise that. Listen, that's the way I see football. I recognise it. I text him, say, Matt, but good enough. He texts me and says, thanks very much for your support and all that, living like that, because you're a football guy, right? I see an interview with Mark Watt, a podcast, and he's talking about his relationship with Davy Moyes, and they're over in America, and he was in there and he loved it. And then he says, well, why did you leave? He says, well, I was always interested to go and see how it was done, a Premier League club and all that, and see how it all worked and everything like that. He says, and I loved it. And he says, great boys. Carney could not got a bad word to say. And David Moyes, he says, as a manager, he says, absolutely brilliant. Even when they win and seeing him dancing, he's all this stuff came out. He says, it's brilliant. He says, but I had to be true to myself. It wasn't my style of play. He says, it wasn't my style of play, and that's why I had to step back. And I'm the same. You have to be true. I couldn't do it. Many a times my team's played and I've come in and I'm gone out at night, and when we get beat, my missus says, oh for the gear, oh for the dress, we're going nowhere. And I'm coming, I'm saying my way up the room, right? Many a times when I've got beat, I've coming in and I'm saying, you're not ready yet. She says, you've got beat. Team are brilliant, absolutely brilliant today. She says, what? She says, honestly, you ought to have seen them, and you ought to have this, that, that. Because I'm seeing it, and it doesn't happen all the time. And there's sometimes, somebody will hit a corner and somebody will score, or a free kick, or somebody will make a mistake, you go, right. But, so what do you do if you're not a total purist and everything you do on your training pitch you're trying to take onto the pitch? What do you do on your training pitch? Mm-hmm. Do you give them rondos? Do you give them passing drills? And yet you come a Saturday, you say, I don't want you to play that. Mm-hmm. You're not true to yourself. And that's what I seen with Mark Warburton, and he says that's one of the reasons the style of football. And I went, you're my man. So if you ever get back in, Mark, give us a call.
There you were asking me about, like, I felt that people were in it.
I never asked you, I keep talking.
Well, for the right reasons, and for me, I've found that I've grew a real love for lower league football over the past recent years, and it's because, like you love to make connections with people, with relationships and all of that, and that's what's really kept me invested in lower league football, because it is the volunteers, it's the people that you see every week. Guys that work 9-to-5 jobs, they're coming in, whether it be the manager, players, volunteers, they're working a day shift, and then they're coming into
proper heroes, aren't they?
They're either doing, and
getting nothing for it,
like, and
getting treated what?
So there's not the financial reward for it, but it's the feeling of doing something.
But sometimes it's these guys that are most important, and that's how you. Most of them are your kit man. Mm-hmm. Your kit men put all the hours in first thing in the morning, last man away, picking up all the pieces, and they get nothing next to for it, and they don't get that, recognition for all their hard work. Or your kit man, or your cleaning women, or your ladies in the kitchen. That's what wins teams. That's what wins games. Honestly, that's them. And because you didn't want to disappoint them, they're giving you everything that you've got. And if you can go into a club and get everybody to buy into that, see, it's not about getting in, getting away. Because everybody thinks, trust me, a lot of people think football's that. Oh, that's a great, you get in, you can go in for 9:30, start for 10, and you get your dinner, you finish at 12, and you get your dinner and you're away. That's not what football's all about. Mm-hmm. It has to be, for me, it has to be my old man. A hard day's shift for a good day's pay, you know what I mean, or whatever way it is, a good day's pay for a hard day's shift. That means if you're there in the afternoon, you go, and then that's what I'm saying, my grounding, and I wasn't a house painter when I was a painter and decorator, and house is nice and warm. I was out in the winter painting the housing schemes. See all your blocks, that's what made the money. You know what I mean, right? You take that block on, right? What have I got? You get a week. You have to finish it in a week, and you get a bonus. So you're talking about updating all the rowings, all the windows, and all the doors. And if it rained, you had to go in and do the inside stair. But you kept that for it was raining. If it didn't rain, you would have to make sure that. And the boss would come down and say, "Check it. Oh, you've not finished. When they give you your bonus, and you've been, come on, you've been
not in your panning.
Not in your panning. You're joking." So that's when a couple of gallon of paint wet myself. Give me a fuss here, there's 2 gallon of emulsion. Here, selling that, I'm making up my money.
Aye. Right, we'll round up with just a quick fire of what would you say your most memorable moment has been? I mean, we've covered a hell of a lot.
It has to be winning the Scottish Cup if you're looking at it. It has to be winning the Scottish Cup. But the day I signed for Celtic and Hibs, that alone, it's like winning a lottery. Yeah. You're up there, you're as high as a kite, you know what I mean? Because Hibs, as I say, I always wanted to go back and play there. Scoring a goal for Celtic, seen there, been there, done it. As I say, earlier on, that young kid, I want to play for Old Firm, thinking it's never going to happen. At 16, it's past you, saying, is that right? Proving everybody wrong. Even now, at this age, coming up 59, my mate says to me, even 2 years ago, I'm under 14 stone because of the golf. I want to get more agility. A year and a half ago, 16 stone I was, like that. Absolute massive like that. Because a mate says to me, do you think you can do this, do that? Do you think you could bench press? I says, the challenge was there. Are you doing right? Stupid, eh? Real obsessive personality. So now it's sort of different. And proving people wrong and saying, no, you've not got that. Little, as I say, getting looked over, but that's part and parcel. But when I get the chance, somebody will get lucky and I get the chance and do it. So, anyway, go back, ask a question. I'm away again. I'm off.
That's all right.
No, so it's signing for Celtic, scoring an Old Firm, signing for Hibs.
Scottish Cup.
Winning the Scottish Cup, yeah.
Best player you've played with and against? You mentioned Paul Gascoigne.
Gascoigne, unbelievable, world class, world class, right up there, absolutely different class. Pleasure to be in the same pitch as him. pleasure to be on the same pitch. Just to say, I played against him.
And with?
I think there's better footballers all round, had a better career. Technical ability, Russell Latipi. Unbelievable, honestly. What he could do with right foot, he could do with his left foot, everything. Goal scored, and just a great lad. Most humble guy I've ever met in my life. Nuisance to manage. Okay, what I mean? Russell, where are you? Nuisance to him, but absolutely fantastic. And then the rest of it, the journey it's took me on and the people I've met along the way, the good guys, mere good guys. Then that's what football does, it brings you all together. Can I finish on this?
Yeah, absolutely.
If I go shopping, which is rare now, with the wife up the town, or clothes shopping, or up the town, come on, we'll go up to Edinburgh and go up, we'll have a day and all that, right? We'll walk along and all that. I'll say, well, not so much now, because she knows she never went. Right, the first thing to get, first 5 people they know, you know what I mean? That's it, you're buying a dinner and I'm buying a dinner. Over in minutes. Like that, Yogi, how you doing, Yogi? Who's that? And it's guys that I've played with at school. It's no ones that I've played with because I'm senior, and it's guys that I've played with at school. How you doing, Yogi? Who's that? That's the wee boy fell round the corner doing it the Kurgat. What? Do you not remember the family and that family there? You're joking, is that us? He said, aye, that's him for doing it. Who's that? Oh, that's our play. Oh, aye, he's one of the footballers, aye. And it's all vast range because, and everybody, the thing about it, she says, and then my ma actually says this, it's Yogi. There's no many yogis. All's Yogi. It's now passed on, God rest him. And Yogi. So everybody says, well, I can identify with him. And my ma always says, everybody will know you. Make sure you go down the right path. And thankfully, football put me down the right path. Honestly, I'm so grateful for it. I've seen a lot of my mates and drugs, and I lost a brother through drugs at an early age, was a better footballer than me, and our mates, and through drugs and went down the wrong path and all that stuff. And it's football, it's kept me on the straight and narrow and kept me, and I'm blessed, and the laughs and the people and the heroes and the guys, as I said, I mentioned them all, and rightly so, that have kept me on the straight and narrow, and that is worth, that's gold to me, because I really think about it. Yeah. It comes out, I'm no patronising, it comes from the heart. I'm no false, I'm not patronising, I'm not trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. I look back and I'm grateful and thankful to you guys. I really, really am. Really grateful, and I'm grateful and thankful to obviously have to get a wife and my family and all that, my brothers and sisters, and but they're grounded people. Honestly, as soon as I walk in, I'll have my family do it, I'm getting hammered. I'm getting slaughtered, honestly. Look at you need to get a turkey, get the teeth fixed and get the barnet fixed and all that, and grounded. That's so when you look back and say, would you change it? Not a thing. Coming up and getting born and bred in Sunnyleaf, not a thing. And all the characters I met in there, coming up Docklands, but you know what I mean? We're in the docks, by the way. I'm only 2 minutes for the dock, my old man being a docker. No, fantastic. And all the workers and all that work and all the play groups and all the social clubs that you go to, all these workers that you go in and you think, 15 full of testosterone, you think, I'm the king, and you're giving them a hard time, and you stick it up here and all them, and then they understand because they've been trained in that. Hey, come here, there's more to life than that. You need to be more understanding to people's needs, to people, even when you're going to coaching and management. You have to be understanding, that guy might not be quite right, and you have to have the character and the personality to say, so these guys go, see, when I go out, I'm going to give him everything. I think I've got that. And it's because of my upbringing and all the values that I've been, all the people I've put in me. And don't forget my wee ma. Even now, everybody go out with something to eat. What my favourite food is? Mince and tatties, bowl of homemade soup, or a bowl of tripe. You know what a tripe is? You know why? Or a bowl of stovies. You know why? Because my ma had to cater for that big a family, right? She couldn't do individual meals. It all went in a big pot. And everybody was in, open door, everybody was in. And everybody was, can I get an hour bowl? I get an hour bowl. I go out now and I say to the missus, I say, any chance of doing stovies? She does it with sausage. I says, that's stewed sausages, that's no mince and tatties, that's no stovies is done with corned beef. Any chance of making it? She, away you go. I said, make homemade soup. Any chance? That's what it was, that's what brought you up. Even though if I'm looking at the menu going, oh, what's all that? They no got a bowl of mince and tatties in here. That's it, brilliant. That's it, that's why I enjoy it. I enjoy it and I get a laugh. I love a laugh.
Oh, we can tell.
Anything for a bit of banter and a laugh and talking about people and talking to people and making people feel, hey, he's went out his way to get to know me. Because everybody thinks, oh, he's played football.
Everybody's got a story.
And everybody's going, oh, and they think, oh, he's no talking. Some guys might be shy and you might go, I just go, how you doing? Why? What you doing here? What's your name? Oh, the next again minute, you know, like you say, by the way, where'd you get the trousers? Where'd you get that shirt? Come on, I'm nick of that shirt.
Hey, I thought we were getting on and all.
Oh, I know, but you come on, next again minute, and laughter. It's a great barrier to bring people in and all that stuff, and I use it a lot in football. So there we go.
John, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Well, once I get talking about football, my wife says, long you part for us, she says, about an hour and a half, she says, no chance. She says, I'll see you for tea.
But what has came across is not only in your footballing career, but you've struck gold in life. That's what you put out.
I've got lucky. Even my family, my oldest daughter, she's the only one in the family university educated, oldest social worker, Edinburgh University, so celebrated that many a year ago now. Now she's a growing mother, and the wee 2-year-old, the granddaughter, calls me Yogi, comes in, Grandad, Yogi. Say, I'm Grandad, Yogi. She comes in, bobble about. And then the twins, I can remember when in the Scottish Cup final, the twins were only 14. They're now 22, growing up. 2 of them doing great, one of them in mortgages and all that, and another one staying in Dubai doing air hostess for Emirates and loving it. Just phoned me the other day there, or FaceTime me in New York, pouring the rain, freezing cold. She's wanting to do New York. I says, good on you. Says, well done. And her ma's in tears when she's awake, and she's been there a year and a half now. Ma's in tears, the whole family. I'm like, take your sister. Because it's life. Get on with it, man. You get out there, meet people. Get out there and you'll
make your own experiences.
Oh, but absolutely brilliant. As long as you treat people the way you like to be treated.
Again, John, thank you so much for spending
time
with
John,
me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thoroughly enjoyed it. A special thanks to Finnegans Wake for welcoming us into their space to bring you this episode. Finnegans Wake take pride in place in Edinburgh's famous Victoria Street, with live music 7 nights a week from a huge range of bands, including extra early live acts on Friday and Saturday, making for an amazing atmosphere. Finnegans is a hub for live sport, especially GAA Irish Football, Hurling, as well as showing all major sporting events across its many screens and central big screen. And what's better than local? Finnegans Wake have a wide variety of locally brewed craft beers, including the newly installed Caffrey's Irish Ale. Finnegans is a place for everyone, with amazing staff and entertainment to help you have the best night possible. And don't forget to send in your good time photos from the photo booth. Once again, thank you so much to Finnegans Wake.